Hello everyone, hope you're all well. So I think I'm finished. My latest journal took me longer than I thought it would actually, and I struggled a little bit with it, but then I'm struggling with everything right now. This is a eco dye cloth I did a couple of years ago, and I just thought I'd put it there. It's not very wide, so, but anyway, just thought it was a nice background to this, because in a way this feels like that, even though I haven't included much eco dyeing in it. I do have eco dye on the spine. Well, let's open it. So I've got this lovely closure of a sari silk, cream sari silk, and I've got this eco dye fabric on the back there, on the spine rather. This was a book, I'm pretty sure it was, but I don't know which book. I can't remember. It's a while ago when I started it, and I love these papers. These are from, oh, I always get this wrong. I'll put the name on the screen now. I think it's BonaDesigns or something like along those lines. But I love her beautiful work, and I've added other bits on top. So this was, actually, no, this is actually my own. I've done I've used some of her papers that are collaged, and then I've added my own collage on the back. That I think, no, that's the same. So I've added her collages, and then I've added other things on the back. But I love the papers. I think they're absolutely beautiful, and they feature throughout the journal. So you can see that it's wider than I normally do. I don't usually do gator mouths. Let me just double check everything's in place. Yeah, so okay, so I'll give you the measurements. Not very big, so it's about an 8 1/4 inches, about 21 centimeters in length, and just over 13 centimeters, that's 5.5 inches, and then it's about a 1 inch spine. So and as I said, oh, it has 2 signatures sewn in 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and I used a Japanese punch for the holes, so then they're bigger than they would have normally been, but that's what I decided to use on this occasion. So, and I'm happy with the way it turned out. The only thing is, I'm not happy with the wax thread. It's not as tight as I would have liked, but anyway, there you go. There's always something that I complain about in my homework. I've used Tim Holtz paper cardstock here, and I've used some calico on the inside spine. Tim Holtz, as you can see, calico. Don't know what that is. You always get a little bit of something, don't you? So the papers are a mix, again, a mix of different things, book pages, these beautiful designs, and I'll take you through it anyway. So as I said, these are from Bona. I think, oh, I wish I could remember. Anyway, they're from that particular designer. How pretty are those? And the same here, where I've cut a square out of one of the pages and just added it there. This is from a colouring book, and this one side you get a beautiful colour to give you inspiration, and then another side you get a different flower actually. So the flower that corresponds to this that you can colour in is on another page. That's how it works. And then we've got, this is, I think I mentioned this before and somebody asked me about it. So Jibbid Neary is a YouTube, she has a YouTube channel, and she makes beautiful books, but I don't think she's made any for quite some time. She'll probably be back at some point, but she's probably doing other things. She's a very creative lady, and she has these eco dies as a freebie on her website. She has an A4 sheet, and then, or the equivalent of, and then 4 postcard sizes, I believe. And I added some real flower hydrangea petals there, and I've just given them a hint of gold. You probably can't see it, but and that's on top of some old book page with the label on. Just a little detail on the side there, more detail here. These are coffee dyed papers. Yeah, another stamped book page. It's got a lovely texture to it, that book page, very soft. As Rudy is behind me. I've got a little tuck spot here. I took this out of a book, beautiful old vintage book. It's not that old actually, but a beautiful vintage book. And I just thought it went really well there, in there. And I had that spare, and I needed something just to make sure that that wasn't going to keep sliding out, so I popped that in there. This is the same designer but a different kit. So whereas these are colourful, these are sort of in creams and, you know, all different neutral shades. Absolutely stunning. Pretty sure they're the same designer. I need to double check, but I think they are. And then I added a fussy cut bird on. I've allowed it to, I glued it on to come over the page like that. Just thought that was interesting, something a bit different. But all of this was fussy cut with the bird. And I just think it worked really well with this page. Some writing space there. A map page from a vintage book, and I liked you know, the way that the flowers looked behind. I did like this page as well with the bird, but I really liked that better, so I put that on. It's just tissue paper over the top, very pretty. On this side, there's a little tuck spot there. This is from the Paper Mill download, and I've got just a few little bits here. So I've got a card, I've added a rose on, and you can write on the back. Another card, you can write on the back, and some paper from the Girls Own Annual. I thought to add that in because I'd taken something else off it. I think you saw, if you watched the last video on this, you would have seen that. So they all fit in there. Yeah, so this is a larger size of that kit that I mentioned here. There. Beautiful pages. Here I've done some stenciling, and I've put a little fussy cut rose from, this is Ruby and Pearl, and then I've added this, I think this is Ruby and Pearl as well, a little tea card or cigarette card, I'm not sure, tea card, with a butterfly on it. It's gorgeous. And another little card here, and this, I think this was part of an A4 sheet with lots of freebies on from Facebook, one of the groups in Facebook, but I can't remember which one, sorry, it was some time ago. On this side we've got, take this off, we've got a lovely card to write on with a bit of lace. There's very few bits of fabric in this. I haven't put much fabric in at all, and I did that on purpose, but I love this image and I thought it was so pretty, so I put that in. And then this is another design, and I can't remember who this is from. I don't think it's the same one designer, so I will list all the designers in the description box, because this is beautiful as well, and I've used a couple of pages of that. So they sort of sit there nicely. and this is coffee dyed paper. This is an eco dye of mine from a few years ago. I just added that in. You can write on the back or whatever. And this is some vintage wallpaper, and I just made a tuck spot there. On this side, hopefully you can see, I had an old envelope that was, or wasn't that old, but an envelope that was ripped, one of these brown, you know, business letter envelopes, and so I added in a flower on gold background. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the gold. Let me just bring it up. So yeah, there you go. Very pretty. And 3 flowers, or is that 2? Oh, there's 2 flowers there. Where did the third one go then? I'm pretty sure I had a third one, but it might not have, I might not have put it in the end. So yeah, so that's closed here, but there is room for a little, you know, you could put something in there, little card or something. What about that tea card? Where is it? There. You could put something like that in there. On this, and then because I wanted this closed, I glued it in there, but you do have a little tuck spot there as well. So I put these in. So this came from a pack of papers that I purchased on Etsy, and this is from one of the digitals. I'm not sure who. I think it's either Ruby and Pearl, or somebody else, but I'm not sure who. So I'll just pop that back there. You can hear Rudy making those weird sounds. It's just bizarre. I don't know, he does it every time I come on. I've got an impression of a leaf there that I did when I did the dyeing, the coffee dyeing. Yeah, I put leaves in between and they came out like that. And then I've got this little pocket here with a little collage and then a nice card. So this is the same or similar. This comes from this kit here. So this came from this kit here. Same kit anyway. So yeah, just pop them back in there. And little pocket there. And then on this side we've got another pocket here with a postcard, and I think in the last video that you saw me making things for this, you would have seen this as well. But beautiful digital. Here I created a cluster with a little bit of fabric that I did some French knots on, and then I've put fussy cut a flower out and just added that to it. And you can maybe see as well, it's really distracting me, sorry, an impression of a leaf there. And then so that I've allowed that to come over the edge, and then here I've just created a little collage, 2 pieces, and then here's a double pocket. So we've got a journaling card there, a little piece of paper can be used for whatever. So this was something that I purchased along with the other thing that I mentioned. I can't remember what we did. That they came from the same box, things that I purchased, papers and things that I purchased. And then this, which is a ruby and pearl, and then on the back, that design is raindrop lilas, but I've kept it floppy. I haven't put any card on it because, you know, I thought that was nice to write on, and sometimes it's good not to have too much bulk. And then just a simple pocket where I've collaged papers on top, and that goes in there. The other way around, Julie. Oh. The other way around. Okay, on this side I've done another tuck, lots of tucks and pockets, but a lot of this sort of width page, and then, you know, so lots of what look like layers, but yeah, anyway. This is from a children's encyclopedia, and it's a constable's fine picture of Salisbury Cathedral with its wonderful spire. So I'm going to Essex coast, off Mersey Island area on the Essex coast, and it's not far from where Constable worked, did a lot of his paintings. I think he lived in that area as well, so sort of not so much Essex but Suffolk, I think, which is very, you know, is on very close together. I mean, I find it hard to delineate which is Suffolk and which is Essex, but anyway, I love this coloured page. I think that's Raindrop Lilac, and I've just added a couple of stamps, and then again a little collage here with Roxy Creations label. Lots of digitals from different people. Another lovely page there, and yeah, book page there, vintage book page, and a label on there. And then here I've put a real flower. Oh, that's where that flower went. So I put a real flower on there, lovely little buttercup. More of that type of, you know, digital. And then a tuck spot here. Love this. I can't remember where I got this from. It would have been a book. And then I added a bit of a label there. This is Pretty Image. I haven't backed it, and I'm not sure why I didn't. But anyway, it's pretty. And then you've got two pieces of paper, different colours, that, you know, I could use them in sort of collage work or whatever. But I like those together. I like this image as well. I liked it to go with these, you know, flowers and things. So they're different flowers, but you know, I liked the colours, and then I added some different coloured papers there on the side. But there's a nice place to write here, and then there's a lovely page to write on there, and then this folds in. So it's nice tip in, or fold out rather. The other side of that, Gibbed Neary printout. A little card that I did some stamping on and then cut up. And here, the other side of that, colouring page, and I added some blue, you know, some old writing on a printout. I can't remember where it came from. Probably, no, I won't guess. And then a lovely little real pressed flower, forget-me-not. Just some detail there on that side. And then here I've done a whole load of different things. So I've added this initially, which was just sort of a few pieces of paper as a collage. Then I added this, which was a cluster that I made. I stitched, and also added some little bits of fabric and different coloured papers, and I did some stamping. So quite detailed little page that. Another, the end of the first signature, and you've got that lovely page there. And then this again, we've got some of that Girls On annual book page there. I think you saw me put that in. Lovely image from a book, and I can't remember the name of the book now, but just beautiful image from a book, and it's got a poem here, and I've put another forget-me-not there. A bird. So I think this was a page that I didn't like, so then I started adding bits to it, and I fussy cut this bird out of a book. Added below that a lovely book page, an old dictionary, and a stamped painted paper, and I really like the effect. This is one of the Gibbed Neary postcards in yeah, and this paper here is from an origami sheet. So I like that page, I think it's interesting. This is some handmade paper that I've inked. I probably went a bit too far with the inking, but I made this card. This was a book from a book page or a magazine, and backed up with brown paper, and that just slides in there. Here, I think I made this a few months ago, along with a load of other painted papers with different, so the background is painted tissue paper, and then I've added layers and then a real flower. So if you look back, you'll see it. It's not that far, but I did quite a few, so you'll see a few being made. I just love these sorts of things. I think they're my favourite things to do, you know, clusters, and I think they are for a lot of us actually, because they're so, you know, in the moment. Lots of coffee dyed papers, and I've inked around a lot of the pages as well. So there's another book page from a different book, just glued on. Another book page there. Oh, this is a flip up, so you can flip it up and write on. I printed on the back, so I just, rather than, you know, have it as a tuck spot, glue it completely down, I thought we may as well make use of that writing space there. It's a little, you know, secret space. Could put like a little circle or something to hold it down. I've thought about that just now. And then a little tuck spot here. I think you saw me do this. And then I've got some pieces of paper here. So there's a vintage address book page. Excuse me. Flower from a catalogue, and then this is a French course book page. So they just sit together in there. I think this was a freebie from Facebook, but I can't remember oh, actually no, I don't know where that came from. I think it might be Facebook, but I'm not sure. And then I did this, another one of those clusters with a bit of fabric on and then some stitching, and I made a little bow from the thread, but there is some pretty fabric underneath that as well, and that is stapled on. You can use that as a little tuck. It's actually a tea bag as well, and you can open it up and put something inside. I thought I had something there, but I must have taken it out. Excuse me. Book page, vintage book page, and then a little tuck spot there that you could put something underneath. Some painted book page with a stamp, a little sketch, doodle, more of a doodle than a sketch, and then this is tea dyed paper, and there is an impression of a leaf, but I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Yeah, it's very faint. Another one of these. I don't know why I put them two together like that, but and then that has a little bow as well with some fabric, and that you could use that as a little tuck as well. But I liked these two together. I thought they went well. And then that flips out like that, or in, whichever way you look at it, and you could put something under there. Just, you know, hold it in, and probably hold a sheet of paper in. Maybe not a card, but I think it would hold a sheet of paper. That's on tracing paper, by the way. A card that I made, a little journaling card or tag. This is a book page. I made a little pocket, side pocket. I think you saw me make this one, or add it. It's not really making anything, it was just ripped. It was already like that, and then I just glued it on. Here we've got, I think you saw me do this. I think you did. So just a little cluster of papers. And then I added I think that's Ruby and Pearl. And then I added some stenciling down the side there. Just put that back. I don't know where they all came from. Yeah, because they go in there. So on this side you can see some dyeing, you know, from using coffee staining and things. Another vintage book page in here. A journaling card from a book page as well, and they just sit in there. And then another one of my painted paper. This is older, but there is still a video of me doing these. But again, it's something similar to those smaller ones, but just slightly different. So they're very similar, but slightly different. And then, you know, fabric and stitching, and I just love making these. And then a little tuck, that's a little tuck spot, and I just put this is piano roll paper with that's been embossed. I didn't do it, it came in a box of goodies that I ordered from Etsy. I made this a while ago. It was hanging around my ephemera box. I think I've used it before and then I've taken it out because, yeah, it's been hanging around a long time. Made a journaling card there or a tag. This is vintage paper from an old document of mine. Obviously a little cluster of different things going on there. On this side, I made this a long time ago, a couple of years ago at least, probably 2 years ago actually. And so watercolour, and then I added these fussy cut flowers and stamping and splattering, and there's a video of me doing these. I think I did a set of 4 or maybe more even. I really enjoy making them. And then I stamped on there and I scribbled. You can see scribbling, you can see all sorts of things. So that goes in there. And then I made this, which I love. I think it's so pretty. Looks like a heart, but it's actually a damselfly. So I added that onto blue card. It fits nicely in there. Don't know if I need that now, but anyway. Other side of that, it's a, oh, I forget what they're called. Well, it's a cutout. Well, I forget what they're called. I don't have the machine to do that, but again, I bought them. Here I've got fold out like that. Just added some paper on the side there, on tracing paper. Another one of those lovely. I made them specifically for this journal, so that's why there's a few that are similar. So I added some pretty papers and cloth, lovely cloth there, and it's a tuck spot. This side there's a flower, a real flower. I like to protect them with this, and here a little collage again, book page, more of this, plain page for writing on. And you can also write on there or add a nice photograph or image or whatever. And here we've got a tuck spot. That is not straight. Is it? Is it my eyes? I don't think it's... Oh, it might be. Oh, anyway. I think that's Ruby and Pearl. It's beautiful. I think it is, but I don't want to say for sure. It might be Raindrop Lila, or it could be Paper Mill Download, any one of those, but I think it might be Raindrop Lila. This is just a piece of paper that I added in, that I'd backed, and you can write on there, and then obviously this writing space here. Nice image there, and then another one of those hearts, and here I added this. You can write on that to use it to decorate. A little postcard, a little tiny one, you can write on that from an old envelope. And then this was a little advert that I saw in a book, and it's somebody wanting a grounds person to work in the gardens, landscape parks, ornamental hermits. There's a hermitage upon a mound in the more gloomy depths of his beautiful grounds. The building has an upper apartment supported in part by contorted legs and roots of trees. Wow, and although it is said to be a beautiful retreat, anyway, that's as far as it went. So, yeah, just thought that was interesting. It's from a book, an old book. Not that old, obviously, because you can tell it's not really old. Book page here, you lift up and you can write on it. It's got a picture of a sea, nothing to do with this journal, but I left it because I thought it was pretty. But there is plenty of writing space on there. Excuse me. Love this as well. It's been hanging around for quite some time. And I just used washi tape. And then you've got a lot of space here to write on, a lot of coffee dyed pages. Papers, tuck spot or a little pocket, some papers to play with or whatever. I just, you know, I like to see them in there. Oh, I think that goes in like that. Just something interesting. And then on that side I just did a little strip of paper, and then there's a couple of poems on there and the back page there, and that's it. I did some stamping there, or stenciling, I beg your pardon, and that's it. So another journal. I don't know what to do with my journals because I've got too many now. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to do with them. I used to sell them. I haven't sold one for a little while, but yeah, I'm not sure what to do with it because I can't keep adding journals to my collection. So we'll see anyway. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that little flip through. I'll try and do another. I go away tomorrow. I'm going to try and get another video done before I leave so that I can then post it. And I might do a couple of little videos while I'm away. I'm hoping to anyway. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for all your comments or likes, and for any new subscribers, and to my existing subscribers who support me. Thank you very much. You know how much I appreciate you, and yeah, I hope to come back with some more interesting projects very soon. So take care everyone. Bye for now.